What's up, team? Midweek update time. And we are adjusting from yesterday's core based on ownership, matchup shifts, and fresh news. We are pivoting at quarterback from Josh Allen to Jalen Hurts at 6,700. Dash rank is 100, projected 21, and he draws Tampa Bay, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 16. He is averaging 22 fantasy points per game with 30 and 8 in his last two, so the ceiling is absolutely intact. His dual threat profile gives us multiple paths to touchdowns at low ownership around 4.7%. The news cycle helps our confidence too. The essentially sports pieces around Drew Brees, calling the Eagles' run-first approach boring, and the follow-up responses only reinforce that Philly is committed to what they do best, which keeps Hurts's red zone rushing equity live. There was also a Week 3 write-up noting his second-half surge versus the Rams with 3 touchdowns, which is the exact volatility we want in GPPs. We still think the Allen stack is viable, but Hurts gives us salary relief and leverage. Running back, we are moving James Cook into the top slot at 7,100. Dash rank is 100, he is projected for 17, and he faces New Orleans, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 25. He is averaging 25 fantasy points per game, with 24 and 1 in his last two, so yes, there is volatility, but the touch count and receiving involvement give him multiple outs, and the ownership is microscopic at 0.27%. That is tournament gold. The Sportsline machine learning coverage around Buffalo props and early season sleepers signals ongoing confidence in this offense's scoring environment, which supports Cook's projection. We still like yesterday's rookie value angle on Quinton Judkins, but Cook offers a better ceiling plus leverage combo this week. At wide receiver, we are elevating Nico Collins at 7,400. Dash rank is 100, projected 17, facing Tennessee, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 24. He sits at 15 fantasy points per game with 26 and 6 in his last two, and his ownership near 19.7% reflects that he is a focal point. Multiple Week 3 rundowns highlighted Texans' past game movers, and DFS advisories have been bullish on Collins' early season usage. We are comfortable eating this chalk because the matchup is strong and the role is sticky. This is a shift from yesterday's Quentin Johnston call. We still like attacking the Giants' defense, but we prefer Collins' median plus ceiling in this spot. Tight end, we are flipping from Dalton Kincaid to Brock Bowers at 5,800. Dash rank is 100, projected 14, and he gets Chicago, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. He is at 12 fantasy points per game with 10 and 18 in his last two, and the early season coverage around the Raiders keeps emphasizing his athleticism and growing involvement. Ownership around 21.9% is fine when the matchup and talent align, like this. We liked the Allen-Kincaid correlation yesterday, but Bowers has the softer opponent and a similar ceiling at a friendly price. For the flex, we are moving from Jacoby Myers to Amarian Hampton at 5,900. Dash rank is 100, projected 16, with the Chargers facing the Giants, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 29. Hampton is averaging 12 fantasy points per game with 25 and 2 in his last two. The rookie's touch count spiked with that breakthrough, as highlighted in this week's coverage celebrating his breakout and the Chargers' momentum after beating the Chiefs. At around 6.3% ownership, we are buying the role expansion against a defense we targeted yesterday. Defense, we are dropping down to the Panthers at 2,500. Dash rank is 100, projected 6, and they face New England, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 30, and we are paying for price and volatility here. They put up 22 and 2 fantasy points in their last two, and ownership around 6.4% is totally reasonable. Salary savings plus recent splash play upside make them a clean fit. Value lane now, starting with quarterback Jackson Dart at 4,500. Dash rank is 100, projected 16, against the Chargers who have a tough defense, overall with an opponent rank of 5. Ownership is about 4.6%. Projection reliability is shaky because he has not started at least 3 games, so treat him as a large field tournament, play only. The Giants announced he's starting in Week 4. Lane Kiffin even chimed in on his former player, and an insider piece called The Switch Hasty, which sums up the risk. You are buying rushing and scramble potential at near MIN salary in a tough spot. Value running back is British Brooks at 4,000 as a deep punt only. He faces Tennessee, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 24. He has 0 fantasy points per game so far, and a projected role that is highly uncertain. Use him only if you need a unique salary saver and are betting on a sudden touch bump. The floor is near 0. Value wide receiver Dante Thornton Jr. at 3,900 is viable against Chicago, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. He has 5 and 7 fantasy points in his last 2, and is projected for 6 in Raiders stacks with Bowers or as a cheap bring-along in that environment. He gives you salary relief with a path to 3x on volume plus a big play. Value tight end Noah Gray at 2,700 remains unchanged from yesterday. He gets Baltimore, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 30. He posted 5-2 games ago. Ownership is around 3%, and the recent features on his knack for making plays when called upon still tell the story. He is a cheap way to get exposure when Kansas City uses heavier personnel. Value flex Braxton Berrios at 3,000 is a tournament dart only against Tennessee, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 24. Projection is 2, and ownership is essentially 0. You are betting on a single schemed touch or red zone look in a Texans offense that will move the ball. If you need a basement defense, the Saints at 2,000 are strictly a salary punt against Buffalo, who have a tough defense overall with an opponent rank of 2. Ownership is basically 0, and you are betting on turnover variance and short fields, not matchup. To recap the big changes from yesterday, we pivoted from Allen to Hurts for salary and leverage, moved from Kincaid to Bowers for the softer opponent, swapped Myers to Hampton to keep attacking the Giants while riding a surging rookie touch count, elevated Nico Collins over Quentin Johnston for a stronger role against one of the worst defenses overall, and replaced Texans D with Panthers D to capture savings with splash play upside. Noah Gray stays as our punt tight end. Good luck this week, and we will be back with final updates after inactives.